So if you look at a Fender multi-guitar case, those beautiful ones that come in tweed or in black like I have, it's no coincidence that they contain 7 guitars. Because I think 7 is a magic number when it comes to guitar, in the sense that 7 guitars is kind of a number that of course is an indulgence, but yet you can kind of functionally justify for different uses. And today I'm going to run you through the 7 guitars in my multi-guitar case, the 7 guitars that I play pretty much almost every day, and the reasons why I play these 7. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ministry of Guitar. I'm Utkarsh coming to you from Singapore. I'll start off this video by saying, by all means, all you need to play music is one functional guitar. But there are needs and there are wants. And this is a video about wants, and wants that kind of help with some needs, though that's a slippery slope. Okay, so I'm going to run you through the 7 guitars that are in my guitar case. I have more than 90 guitars in my room. But I would say these 7, actually it's 8, let me cheat. 7 plus 1. These 8 guitars are the guitars that I play every day, because the way I've organized them is in a manner that works for what I am going for. And just for those of you who don't know that much about me, I am originally a rock player, got into metal, got into ambient, and I play multiple tunings and I play multiple strings, so to speak. I also play 7-string and 8-string guitar. So how I organize my guitars is I need a guitar in every tuning because it just makes life easier. Yes, you can absolutely do this with a proper polyphonic down tuning pedal. There are plenty, but ultimately I like the fact that what I'm playing and what I'm hearing is the same. And not to say you can't do it the other way, but if I have so many guitars, I might as well do it. So I have one guitar in each tuning that I use, which is essentially E/drop D. I alternate just by switching it. D, E flat, C sharp, and B standard, which is baritone tuning. And then I have a 7-string guitar in drop A on the low A string. And then I have or it can be B. And I have a 8-string guitar, which is F sharp on the low 8th string, which can also be E. Hopefully I didn't confuse you too much out there. Anyway, let's get into the Magnificent 8. This is guitar number 1 and of the Magnificent 8, and the fact that it has a strap on kind of shows you that I play it a lot. This is my E standard / drop D guitar. And what this is it's a PRS. By the way, if you don't like PRS, this video is really not for you, so please switch off right now. I own multiple brands, but just in terms of playing, I just prefer PRS guitars. It's just me. So anyways, with that aside, this is a PRS McCarty 594, though it doesn't look like one. It's from the private stock department, and this is something that I specified to exactly what I wanted. So what I wanted was, I wanted a Les Paul like thick body, but I like the aesthetic of the split top. At that time, I had seen something that had inspired me, so I wanted a double cut so I could have that split top. It's got a Buckeye bulb body. Actually, I won't get into the specs too much. It's got exotic woods. Let's talk about why I use this as my E/drop D guitar, why it kind of does everything. It's a double humbucker guitar, but it has coil splits, individual coil splits for each of the humbuckers, and then it has an out of phase, which is useful, and then it has a piezo. And the piezo works exactly like the standard PRS piezo, where you can either have only magnetic pickups, mix of magnetic and piezo, or just piezo, as my dog Hibiki will tell you. And this guitar essentially is so versatile, it can do everything. No, it does not sound like a Strat, but it gives you very good single coil sounds, because it's still a 24 point and a 594 in scale length, not a 25.5 in scale length. But the reason this is my main guitar is it kind of makes every sound I want. It in a good way, like it has a Les Paul sound, but it has a bit of bite, because the pickups it has are the 5815 LT, which is basically a PAF style neck, but a high output bridge humbucker, which is a Tremonti. So this does all my Les Paul sounds, all my metal sounds. In split mode, I tend to use the other guitar a little bit more, but this can actually, because this has a very, very woody sound, and okay, let's not get into toned wood, but I do believe it has something to do with the fact that it has this bare wood, almost rosewood neck. This is a kingwood neck. So this guitar has a lot of, you can hear the pick scrape, it has a lot of bite. And I'm going to give you a few sounds so that you can get a sense of how this guitar is. But yeah, because it has a very, very present sound, so even the single coil sounds are very good. Sometimes I prefer these single coil sounds. And yeah, it does everything. It does pretty much everything that I want in E standard or drop D. So for all the tones in this video, I'm going to use a low gain Marshall tone because it's a very versatile tone. I have a little bit of effects just for fun. And you'll see, because with the low gain Marshall tone, you can get very clean sounds. Especially if you roll down the volume knob. All the way to, if you put a high output humbucker and you dig into it, yet on the same tone, if I shift to Piezo and I just kind of take it a little easy, yeah. And of course, in this particular guitar, I can get that sweet Les Paul sound as well if I want. So yeah, it does everything. This is normally in E, or I can just drop it down. And the thing with PRS guitars, the reason I like it is these are Trem guitars that you can easily put into drop D, and they'll stay there. And then you put them back into E, and they'll stay there. So the tuning stability is a big part of why I like this guitar. Okay, let's get into my E flat guitar. My E flat guitar is very similar in concept to my E standard guitar, though this was not specified by me. This is again a PR Paul Reed Smith, but it's a single cut. It's a regular 25-inch scale length, so that kind of makes it maybe a little bit better for E flat, though not really. Small scale lengths also work. This is similar because it also has a rosewood neck. That had a kingwood neck. This has a very nice piece of Indian rosewood. It has a swamp ash body, and it has, the pickups in these are Tremontis, which I got changed actually because I kind of prefer that sound. Low output humbucker. Actually, this neck pickup is not really a Tremonti. It's a 5815. But anyways, that's a different story. And a Tremonti bridge pickup. And this is similar in concept to the other guitar because it has similar outputs, which is it has individually splittable humbuckers. And it has a piezo, but it's a Graphtec piezo, not a PRS piezo. And there's a slightly different switching layout where you can individually switch either the piezo on or off or the magnetic on or off. Not too difficult to use. And it's, best of all, it's semi-hollow. This has that same, again, for Tonewood skeptics, yes, of course, in a processed tone, you can get everything. Anything can sound like anything. But in my experience of playing in the room, what I find is guitars with these bare rosewood necks, they have a little bit of extra pick bite. So even in this guitar, I get that extra pick bite, a lot of presence. Which I really like. And again, this has the same trick, the same piezo trick. I switch off the magnetic, switch on the piezo. Volume can be adjusted. Keep in mind, I'm going through a tube amp, a real tube amp, so there's no simulation happening here. So that's the piezo, switching off the piezo, and then of course we go back to magnetic, go to the bridge humbucker, like I did with the previous guitar. I need that pick attack. You hear that? You don't hear that on guitars without that rosewood neck, and maybe the Tremonti pickup has a lot to do with it. So I like that. And these guitars, maybe it's the PRS combined with the tube amp, they're very sensitive to volume. I have not changed the amplifier. I've just changed the volume on the neck pickup. So a lot of time I don't even bother switching amps. I just kind of stick to that sound and I just adjust the way I play. Yeah. I like this guitar a lot. By the way, this is a satin finish. It's very similar to a modern eagle. That's what it is like. That's what this guitar is actually inspired by. This is for all practical purposes a modern eagle one. Of course, normal rosewood fretboard, no rosewood neck, not a Brazilian rosewood neck. But otherwise, and it has a piezo. But otherwise, it's basically a modern eagle one. All right, let's get into my D guitar. And for my D guitar, I again have a PRS private stock. A quick note on this bit, right? So it may sound funny to you that basically each of these guitars is literally one of the most expensive guitar types that you can get, PRS private stock. But this is one of the reasons why I gravitate towards PRS and private stock, is because they just make amazing playable instruments. Of course, you can get by a $500 guitar, but if you're lucky enough to have the best, and yeah, whatever you want to say, I mean, you can just play the best. It's just as simple as that. So it is no coincidence that of all the guitars that I have, it's basically my entire list of the 7 that I play are basically mostly PRS private stocks. I buy them to play, I buy them not to look at. So this is a little special because this is the first PRS private stock I ever bought. This guitar found me. This was in the beginning of my assignment in Japan in 2018. I was chasing a PRS Modern Eagle Singlecut. I was chasing it in a store in Japan. I tried calling them. They didn't speak English. And I went all over to the store. Apparently, that guitar had just left, which was very disappointing. So I made my way to a different store. And I think it was Ishibashi Shinjuku. Was it Shinjuku or Shibuya? No, I think it was Shinjuku. And there, I still remember this so clearly. There are hundreds of guitars hanging on the wall, but not hanging on the wall. Inside its case, displayed with the case open, was this guitar. And I was like, that is the most beautiful guitar in the store. And it had just come in, and it was priced better than I expected. And I just had to get it. So this is the Custom 24 private stock from 2008. This is from the Joe Nags era. This color is called Faded Indigo, though I don't know what's faded about it or what's indigo about it, but look at how beautiful the color is, particularly on the neck. It's like green and gold, though it can look kind of blue or gray depending on the light. This is a Custom 24 of the older style, which means it doesn't have a 5-way switch. It has a 3-way toggle, and it has a master volume, master tone with a split. On this guitar, again, the pickups have been swapped. Originally, these came with the PRS vintage bass and hot fat screaming HFS, which were very not vintage is not right, very 80s pickups. Let's just say that they were kind of that 80s sound, especially the bridge pickup. Very thick sound, but not amazing for palm muted riffing. So these are swapped out for PRS metal pickups, literally M metal pickups. Though I'm not liking these pickups as much as I would hope. I may just go back to the original pickups, because nowadays, I don't know, maybe I do a little bit less palm muting. But for the purpose of this guitar, which is D standard and drop C, this is perfectly built for that. And the reason I have a D standard guitar is that I play a little bit in D standard, but a lot of bands that I like end up playing in D standard or drop C. So often if I hear a song and I just want to play it, and I want to just listen to it and quickly figure out how to play it, most of them they're in D, so I just pick up this guitar and I play along. It's just seamless. Yeah, I like this guitar a lot. What should I say about it? Yeah, I think the pickups are not the end state on this guitar, but it's just still is a very awesome guitar. Oh yes, the thing to say, this is the most playable guitar I own by far. Something about this guitar. Imagine butter on a knife in a milkshake, whatever you want to imagine. If you want to imagine the most playable guitar of your dreams, it is this guitar. You pick this up and you're instantly 2 levels up. Something about it, it's the neck also, it's a pattern neck. Actually, sorry, not a pattern, it's a pattern regular neck, or actually it's just called regular neck. This is the original PRS neck shape. And I think one of the things that PRS knocked out of the park with the original guitars, because I do have an original 1986 Custom 24 as well, is the neck shape. All right. My C sharp drop B guitar is one of the most special guitars I own because it is a guitar that made its presence felt, and it's a non-private stock in this company. This is a PRS DGT that I affectionately call the DGT of Doom. I bought this guitar from an Anderton sale back in 2017, if I remember correctly, December 2017. And it arrived because at that time I was feeling a lot of DGT hype. There was a lot of DGT hype happening on YouTube, and I felt I just had to get one. There were no DGTs in Singapore. This was the perfect color, this charcoal purple burst. And initially, I did not like the pickups at all, those famous DGT pickups. Something to do with my taste, they were a bit too bright for me, particularly the bridge pickup, neck pickup was okay. I referred to this in early videos on my channel. So one day, I decided to sell this guitar. And the owner, the next buyer, the buyer was supposed to come. I was waiting for him, and he didn't turn up. I was waiting, and he didn't turn up. And while I was waiting for him, I was just sitting and playing the guitar. And if you remember, this is a slightly different. The bridge humbucker volume is here. This is neck humbucker volume. So going to neck humbucker. I was playing this guitar, and then suddenly this was coming out. These chords kind of came out. I've never heard these chords before. It just kind of came out, and then it was. And without knowing it, I was singing. The song gets. I don't know. The song kind of came. Don't let me go. Keep me for a while. Never let go. Change that smile. I just realized it's in C sharp. That's why the voice is off. Anyway, the song called Don't Let Me Go, I'll just play it here, just came out from this guitar.
Don't let me go, keep me for a while, never let go, don't change that smile. Don't let me go, keep me for a while, never let go, don't change that smile. Again,
literally, don't let me go. And then the person didn't turn up, so there was no way I could let this guitar go. So this guitar, then I decided to change the pickups on it. I put some bare knuckle aftermath pickups, tuned this down to C sharp standard, called it the DGT of Doom. You can see the videos on my channel. Then I decided there was a lot of hype due to the SC DGT coming out, and then I was feeling gas for a normal DGT, and I realized I have a DGT. It just doesn't have the pickups in it. So swapped back the original pickups, so the guitar is still in C sharp standard. And yeah, it's here, and I use it in C sharp standard, and even in C sharp standard, it does well. It's not designed for metal, but now, why do I like this guitar so much? It's one of those guitars that just has a very nice sound. So a lot of my songs have been recorded on this guitar. My song Swans of History, the album, the main song is on this guitar, and you'll know I'll play the ambient bit of it. It's got this very beautiful sound. Somehow this guitar just has a quality regardless of the pickups. Now, I know that I told you that I did not like the bridge pickup initially because it was very present. But regardless of that bridge pickup sound in a DGT, the bass sound of the guitar, difficult to exactly describe what it is just incredible. Alright, my B standard guitar. This is a PRS 513. It's a very unique guitar because it can make 13 sounds from 5 pickups. That's why it's called the 513. I have other videos on the channel that explain this, by the way. Strap on it means it's used a lot. Now, this guitar I bought in 2020. This was my promotion gift to myself because I got promoted at that particular point in time to head of marketing of what I was working on. And yeah, it was a big promotion. Not everybody gets there. And I wanted a special guitar. And when I saw this guitar, I bought this from Peach Guitars. Excuse the pickup still connected, the cable still connected. I got this from Peach Guitars, and when I saw it on their website, this was the best looking guitar top I had ever seen, and it still remains that. It's technically purple mist. Now you were gonna say it's faded. It's not purple mist. No, it's not faded at all. There's not one sign of fade on this guitar. So I don't know why this color is called purple mist. I would call it charcoal. But yeah, it's just one of those guitars. Now, the interesting thing about PRS guitars is they're very versatile in terms of how you set them up. So this is set up to B standard drop A. Now this particular model does have a slightly longer scale length, 25.25, but even then it handles B standard really well. It's good to have one baritone guitar, though this is not technically a baritone guitar. It's a normal guitar in a baritone tuning, but it's good to have that. It's good for recording. There's a lot of use cases for baritone guitar, but again, a lot of bands that I listen to, they often use either a 7-string or a baritone tuning. So it's useful to have that, and it's just useful for inspiring. Because of the baritone guitar, I'm going to put this in a single coil sound. This normal chord sound, very interesting. Has that dark sound. Just play the normal normal song, then they sound different. So yeah, that's why I have a B standard baritone tuning guitar. We are now officially getting to the dark side of this 7 guitar lineup. And this guitar, again, I'm going to say all these guitars are special, but this one again really is. How long do you chase a guitar on the internet? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, in my case for this guitar. This guitar is one of those creations that you rarely get, which is a 7-string PRS. It's a private stock, of course. They only make multiple strings, extended range in private stock, with the Floyd Rose. Very, very rare spec. I would guess there are less than 5 such guitars in this particular spec, maybe 10. So it's very rare. I saw it on the Japanese website of a Japanese retailer. I'm trying to get the timeline right. I think it was 2019 or 2020. Let's look at when the guitar was built. 2020. So I saw this in 2020, and it was bright green, which is not my favorite color, peacock green, and it was very expensive because the Japanese yen was quite strong at that point in time. So what happened since is that things happened, the pandemic happened, the Japanese yen collapsed versus the US dollar, and I watched over the years as the price remained high in yen terms, but it wasn't. It was just too much in US dollar terms. Then one day the guitar disappeared, and then it reappeared. When it reappeared, it didn't look like the original guitar. It looked like this, which was this kind of a toxic, like, I don't know what to call it. It's gray, brown, but back of it still green. It almost looked like an aesthetic. I knew immediately what had happened. The guitar had faded from hanging in the wall, because the Japanese guitar stores, they like to hang on the wall. And it also had a couple of dents, because the Japanese will never fool you. At least the Japanese guitar dealers, they will always show you exactly what it is. So it was now a B stock because of the whatever faults on it, and the price had gone down, and the Japanese yen had also gone down. So all in all, the time was right. So I pulled the trigger and I got it. At that point in time, it's one of those decisions. I've often said that you do not make financial decisions concerning guitars that put you in duress, but sometimes there's the exception that proves the rule. So at that point in time, I had just bought my house. I was very cash poor, relatively speaking, if I remember correctly, and I literally had to sell a couple of guitars, or very specifically, I had to sell another PRS private stock, a very beautiful Modern Eagle one, Modern Eagle 5. I had to sell that to make this happen. But that guitar was so very ornamental. I was not playing that guitar. It was just too ornamental to play. So yeah, I made that tough choice. I took a big hit on that guitar actually. But I realized that I would play a 7 string private stock, and where would I get a 7 string Floyd Rose private stock? Sorry, PRS. It's very difficult to get. So I made the choice. And it was one of those best decisions that I made, because this is one of the most played guitars in my arsenal. Of course, I have a guitar to play E standard in, but I end up just playing E standard on this guitar. It's also a 24 fret guitar. It's a custom 24. So this guitar gets played a lot, and I don't feel concerned about hurting this guitar because it's already pretty badly hurt. It's got dings and whatever. It's faded, even though it's a very expensive PRS private stock. So yeah, this is my 7 string, currently in drop A. With drop A, the interesting thing is you can play these chords, these minor and major chords in the drop, like you do drop D chords, but in drop A, and they sound really nice. Just have this lonely air. And the Floyd is of course nice. And of course this thing can riff. Can't go wrong with the Floyd Rose, especially a good Floyd Rose like this guitar. Quick note, I keep this locking nut unlocked actually, and I tune it all the time like a normal guitar. Quick tip, if you have a very high quality Floyd Rose on a very high quality guitar, you don't have to deal with this nut. You can just keep it unlocked and the guitar will still stay in tune most of the time. At least the PRS private stock Floyd Rose or the normal PRS do that. This is my experience. Alright, next guitar. If you thought that the previous guitar was rare, this is at a whole different level, because this is a PRS private stock 8 string, and PRS has probably made a reasonable number of 7 strings in private stock. Of course, in SE terms, there are many PRS 7 strings. The Holcomb is a popular model, but when it comes to 8 string, they don't exist outside of private stock at all. And there were 8 of them originally made, kind of a Mark Holcomb signature, though not exactly. And then there were a few privately specified by dealers, for artists. Tosin Abasi got one, for example. And this was specified by Japan. So by the way, you're seeing this whole Japanese theme with my PRSs. This is because I went to Japan every 2 weeks for work for 3 years. And yeah, it was it impacted my guitar journey, let's just say that. So this one is an 8 string. This color is called double stain grade. Again, the stop is amazing. The back is amazing as well. This is the inspiration behind the PRS graveyard guitars. This has a zircote, I don't know how to pronounce it, neck. And it has a ebony fretboard. And it is just an awesome guitar. And I need to have an 8 string because, again, 8 string for the ambient stuff that I do, it just gives you extra flavor. This is a low F sharp. So you can almost... You can almost play like a bass riff and then put it in a loop and play something on top of it. Or you can do the droning guitar thing that I like doing a lot. 8-string guitars are not only for, that's not what it's all for, it's for other stuff too. But if you get some power chords on the 8th string, they sound powerful as hell. You can be nice and soft too. Yeah, this is a nice guitar. I really like it. This is the main 8th string I play. I don't play the other 8th string, which is from the original 8. That is too rare. That is really the rarest guitar I own. Literally 8 guitars made for that run. PRS Guitar of the Month, August 16 or something. If I remember correctly, when they did Guitar of the Month in private stock. So that one is too rare. So this is the one that I play. And that's the main reason I got this guitar. But because I got that guitar first, and I really enjoyed it, but I was like, that guitar is too rare, too much of an artifact to really play every day. And I wanted to play 8th string every day, and I wanted to play a PRS 8th string every day. So this turned up, ordered by a Japanese dealer, and yeah, that's how I got it. And now we're on to the bonus guitar. This is a PRS 513 Rosewood from 2005. And this guitar I got in 2018. And I was obsessed with the idea of this guitar before I got it. The story is that I got a 513, a regular one, non-Brazilian Rosewood, from a very wonderful gentleman here. I loved that guitar. It kind of was the first PRS that gave me that Gibson sound. I was really into Gibson back then. You would say the 594 gave me the Gibson sound, but really this one did. Yet it gave such incredible single coil sounds, not exactly Strat, but good enough for me. And it was so playable. And then I heard all about this myth of Brazilian Rosewood, so I had to get it. And when I got this guitar, it lived up to everything that I thought it would. So much so that you've probably looked at all my videos. This guitar is always in the background because this guitar is always sitting there. And this guitar is this, it was described as the Swiss Army knife. This is the Swiss Army knife, but it is not just an ordinary Swiss Army knife. It's a very good Swiss Army knife. As just a guitar, leaving aside the fact that it can make so many different sounds, it's an incredible guitar. I talked about that Custom 24 private stock being one of the most playable guitars I have. This runs that one very close. It is super easy to play. The Brazilian Rosewood neck is... We'll disconnect this since we don't want sound effects from an amplifier. The Brazilian Rosewood neck is just, I don't know, it's like butter, and it's been played a lot because this guitar has been played a lot by me. And yeah, it's just any position it sounds good. But the reason I like 513s, similar to the one I showed you earlier, is there's something called a heavy humbucker sound, because this switch actually switches the guitar from a single coil guitar, vintage humbucker guitar, modern humbucker guitar. And in modern humbucker guitar mode, it has a thickness, a creaminess, a richness to the sound that I still have not heard from any other guitar. So yeah, I really like this guitar. This is pretty much, all of these 8 guitars are close to guitars I play every day. But if I was to say which is my real number one guitar, for 6-string, it's probably this. And by extension, 6-string and 7-string, I play that Custom 24 a lot as well. So those two guitars, that 7-string Custom 24 Floyd and this guitar, they are the guitars I really play the most. I play them almost every day. Single coil, you can hear the sound, you can hear the the squeals, but you can put it into humbucker mode, of course. Such sensitive controls. Yeah. Yeah, love this guitar. So, what is the conclusion of this? The conclusion of this is not that you need 7 guitars, not that you need $100,000 worth of guitar in your case, which is maybe the case over here. The conclusion is that nice things are nice. They're nice to have. You can absolutely get away with a basic setup. But if you can, and it's a good thing to aspire to, I'm very happy to have it in my life. But it's a good thing to aspire to have nice things. They do make life a little bit easier. Having 7 guitars and 7 different tunings makes it easier for me to play music. It does not get in the way. So yeah, as much as I'm an advocate of not extending yourself and not feeling needs for things you don't need, to manage that, because that can lead to some poor financial decisions. My advice is, if you can afford it, or if you have a dream, you can build up to the dream and eventually afford it. There's nothing wrong with that either. It's good to aspire towards things, and hopefully this gives you a sense, at least in terms of the guitar realm, because I aspire towards many things in other realms which I have no hope of ever achieving, say for example in the car realm. But in the guitar realm, at least I have the ability to have what I want, and in that realm, I can tell you it's nice to have what you want. Alright folks, let me know what you think of this video, whether you liked it, whether you liked seeing all the guitars in detail, and I will see you next time.